I'm your host, the one and only Mr. LP Stephen Sykes, host of Enliven Radio, part of the great and wonderful company of Legacy Internet Radio. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves out there. It is crazy, crazy weather. Excuse me. Now, this is the second week in a row I do a show, and it is snowing outside. Rain and icy roads and everything. Please, everybody, please be safe out there. As always, I'm going to open up the show with a prayer. Dear Lord, thank you very much for allowing us to be here today to listen to good music, good advice, wonderful information, and share amongst the joy amongst everybody, Lord. We're having a hard time out there. We're either too hot or too cold, or some people are starving, and some people just can't get it together, Lord. And some people didn't wake up this morning, and some people are just lucky to be here the next day. And Lord, I thank you with all the grace that you bestowed upon us that we can get through it and make sure we follow through your words. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, like I said, it's bad out there. And again, I apologize, but my co-host could not join us today. Please shout out to Miss Brandy Richardson and Mr. Sincere. I hope that you guys are safe out there and not stuck out there on the road and everything. We're going to have a very good and impactful show, everybody. And I'm telling you, I'm just looking to it because we just got so much stuff for you. We're going to have a couple of call-ins, and today's show is about positivity. Yes, I said positivity. Are you a positive person? Or are you a person who just trying to do the right thing, and sometimes people get on your everlasting nerve, and you just don't know what's going on? Well, I'm going to tell you something. We've all gone through that, and it's a hard world out there, and sometimes people just don't know how to act. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret. Yes, even me, Mr. LP, has a hard time sometimes just dealing with it because I get tired of people too. I get annoyed. I'm tired of people just giving me a hard time because I'm being nice. I'm tired of people just having just all types of attitude. But you have to brush your shoulders off and keep on going. Snap your neck, pop your collar, whatever you got to do to keep on going. And I'm going to have a couple of people calling in about that and some of the things that they got going on. Now, you're wondering, well, what kind of brought this show out? How is this helping? Well, Enliven Radio is always the basic premise of our show is, one, the global community. I used to say just local community and things like that, but it's really, I'm going to say local because we're all local. No matter where you are in the world, we're local. But I'm starting to use the word global community to help others understand because this is, we all what we have right now. You, me, your neighbor down the street, someone across the world, believe it or not, we have to work together. And we just don't get the chance to do that very well. And my show, and helping along with our great co-hosts and everybody, we just try to do what we can. Oh, we have a caller. Hold on. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Enliven Radio. I'm your host, the one and only Mr. LP Stephen Sykes. And who do we have on the phone line today? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. This is Mr. LP Stephen Sykes with Enliven Radio. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. And who do we have on the line today?
My name is Deidre Harshaw from Detroit, Michigan.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You're a little early on me, but that's all right. I'll take you when we can. I'm just so very grateful. And so you say your name for everybody, Deidre Hardway?
Deidre Harshaw.
Deidre Harshaw. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I pronounced it right because I don't get it all the way together. So how is it doing? How's things going for you out there in Detroit, Michigan right now?
It's going great. It's going great. We're just bracing up for the cold right now.
Okay. Well,
but all in all, it's going good.
Well, that's very good. Well, thank you very much for taking the time out to give us a call. And good question for you. I know you have a couple of businesses or one in particular going on. What do you have?
I currently own, I am a small business owner of All In Publications, which is a book publishing company here out of Detroit. We seek out to look for authors or writers that would like to get their books or manuscripts published.
All right. All in publications, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. How did you get started with this idea? What brought this one about?
Well, about a year and a half, my husband, Deidre Harshaw, had wrote 10 books. We had published his first book, Bulletproof Love, through Xzebras, and I watched the process of the book, and it cost me over $5,000 to get published. The second book that we're about to bring out is Adonis, and I decided that I would self-publish the book myself. I researched everything, how to upload it, how to format the book, how to get the ISBN numbers, copywritten, how to do everything, where to find the festivals and expos. So we had got our name, All In Publications, patent, and was going to put all 10 of his books underneath All In Publications. In the process, I started loving what I did. So I started seeking out authors and writers to actually publish their manuscript. We take their book from being typed to, I have an editor, I have a graphics designer. I actually format the book, go over the book with my authors. I market, promote, advertise their book, and try to get them the most exposure that they can.
Well, that is a big time endeavor, and first off, hats off to you and your family for making this dream grow. And like you said, this came about, you're trying to publish your own book, and you decided just to go ahead and do it your own way. That takes a great amount of encouragement to go do this.
Yes, it does.
Now, when you're doing this endeavor, what our theme of today's show is positivity and how we can rise above different levels of angst, anger, negative people who just have crazy thoughts and just not positive amongst each other. Because one of the things I was just explaining before you called is that we have to work together, and we're not doing a very good job of that in this world because we're part of a global community. How is it with your business? How are you working together with your team of people, your husband? How do you remain positive in working together amongst everybody?
Well, the way that I stay positive within my coworkers, the people that work for me, is every morning that I wake up, I start my day off by doing a 30-minute meditation. I actually read Joyce Meyer's book, and I do 30 minutes of that every morning. That way, I'm cleansing myself, I'm making myself feel better, and I can project a better attitude or a more positive attitude, to my others that are around me. 5 things that you can do to have a positive force in the workplace or within your company is to be aware of the negativity around you. You never realize how much of the negativity will drain you of your energy by the words that are being spoken. So you have to realize that within yourself, you have to be able to block off that negativity and give them some positive energy. It all starts with you. You have to not listen to the gossip or don't participate in the conversations that are negative, that's going to force you to have this negative attitude and carry this bad influence. So language matters. Your body motions matters. Everything that you project off yourself matters. You have to be able to speak up and tell someone, this doesn't work for me, but do it in a non-judgmental way because it's making you feel bad. So you have to try to give out the positive, and that way you'll get that positive energy back. You have to be constructive. Give meaningful and beneficial words to another. Pat someone on the back when they do something good. Or if they're doing something wrong, then pull them aside and be like, don't do it that way. Why don't you try this way instead and do it in a positive way? I always praise and acknowledge the work that my coworkers do or my employees do for me. That makes them feel better instead of just pointing out what they aren't doing wrong.
See, and that's something that I was going to get into. You tip my hand. I was going to get into later on the discussion today about positivity, about how to remain positive when correcting your employees or working with your coworkers and things. A lot of people don't know how to do that and be effective. And yes, there are some tense moments in the workplace, and I'm not going to sit here and BS anybody and expect that, hey, it's all gravy if you just speak nice. It doesn't. Sometimes people are just not going to do that. But you have to remain positive and virulent in your own self to do the right thing. Let that person be in their own little sauce and let you handle it the correct way.
Right.
Now, when you're doing this type of business, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. How do you remain positive when you're doing this together as husband and wife and also within your marriage?
I always try to give thanks. I thank a coworker for the work that they do to make their job easier. I usually acknowledge a job well done. One of the ways that I like to create a positive attitude at work, to give the most valuable player award, or once a month stage a vote for the office VIP person, asking each voter to include why they should nominate this person for an award. We do this at our job also. Every month we have the most valuable player at our job who went beyond the measures or the call of duty to do their job well, who helped one of our patients out or their family members out and went beyond their job description. So we have a multitude of things that we try to do to better ourselves. We try to praise each other for the work that they have done. We give out, we call them, they're like stars of the month. So every month, every time somebody goes beyond their call, you write down on this slip what they did, and you put it into this bowl, and we pick month, and the person that picks, then that person wins a prize every month, whether it's a $5 Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. They get that award, and that makes everybody feel better. That makes them feel like they're doing a job well done, instead of pulling them in the office and saying you didn't do this, that, or the other. You praise them for their work. You go beyond that call to make sure that or my authors are well taken care of. I work strange hours, so I work even when I'm at work. So I go beyond that call. I try to give the person as much needed help as they can get. That's what I'm there for. So I do that at my job, and I also do it for my clients that I have as well.
Now, do me this. Tell me of a time when you wasn't very positive towards your employees or people you just didn't keep it together and you were just very mad.
I come across that quite often. I do work in the hospital full time. We do have some very difficult patients. We have very difficult family members. Sometimes you have to step out the box and kind of realize what other people are going through outside of work or outside of the care of their family members. They don't really understand. Some people are in denial. Some people are angry for whatever reason. That's what it is. So I have to try to understand that and just keep doing my job the best I can. I have a lot of instances where I fall into that. I come across a diverse crowd every day at work, so I have to go over and beyond that. I can't let that stop me from doing my job.
How do you, when you're doing this, how does it affect when you're How is this playing an example and towards you as a mother for your children?
I have to teach them the same thing. You know, everybody is going through something, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And you're supposed to be there to support them. You can't knock the way they feel. You have to try to support them the best you can. That's all you can do. Just because somebody's having a bad day, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. So you got to help them through it. We all go through something. It's just a matter of how you deal with it. It's obstacles that's put in our path every single day. It's just a matter of how you want to deal with it. My thing is to deal with it and keep going. You can't let that obstacle slow you down. You got to stay focused. That's how the world goes. It's never going to always be a good day.
What would you say to other young women? You're an African American woman. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. What would you say to other women, not just African American women, but women overall, how to remain positive in a men's world that steadily tries to put women down?
I will always stand my ground. Always stay firm. Know your job well. Do your job to the best of your ability. Never feel like you're beneath a man. You're never beneath a man. But if you know your job well and you do your job well and you're a strong, independent person, then you should be able to press through anything.
Amen. Miss Howray, I thank you so very much for calling and letting us know. How can people get in contact with you and let us know? We got some writers and manuscripts and other people who got some things out there. I know they're listening or some thoughts. How can they get in contact with you?
I am on Facebook. You can contact me there. I am Deidre Harshaw. I also have a business page, All In Publications. I'm on Twitter at Miss Harshaw, Instagram, Harshaw0420. My website will be up in about 2 weeks or so. It will be www.allinpublications.com. So you can reach me there.
All right. I thank you so very much for giving us a call. And you're always a welcome friend of the program. Please, at any time you want to join in the conversation, you're always welcome. And we appreciate you. And make sure you drop a note on our Enliven Radio page of all your contact information again so everybody can get in contact with you just in case they missed a part of that. Okay?
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for having me tonight.
No, the pleasure is all ours. I thank you very much. And you have a blessed evening. And say hi to your kids and your husband for me.
I sure will do that.
All right, you have a blessed one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, everybody, as always, we are always doing it up big and getting good quality people to call in the show and do the right things in terms of being positive. And we just heard from Ms. Harshaw, who owns All In Publications and who's, doing a lot of different things and goes through challenges. Just like everybody, we're all human. We all go through different things, and we want to make sure we do positive things and stay positive and then just do what we need to do. So that's just something you have to do. Now, you may say, well, what kind of brought this conversation on, as I was getting to before the call, this topic? Well, I was doing a video shoot for a magazine opening, and Hair in Motion magazine with Dominic Lund. And we took several pictures and videos of wonderful, positive, energetic people. And that day, I sent some of those pictures home to a family member. Family member did not like the pictures. And unfortunately, this family member is not very well educated on African American cultures and people, and she has a very non-informative, very informative. I'm trying to put it nicely. lack of a better word, but just very skewed vision of what African Americans supposed to look like and what African people look like over in Africa. And she views that we're all just hanging around in jungles and desert and sand, and that's all what Africa is all about. Now, we all know that there's more to Africa than that, by far. There's major cities where you can't tell the difference between sometimes there and other cultures besides certain things and landmarks and stuff. And, of course, she does not understand. But with some of the pictures, a lady was dressed in very positive and wonderful African American garment, and she thought that was the ugliest thing in the world. And I'm sitting here like, you have to. We don't need to be tearing each other down. We need to be positive. So I told that person so, and it gave me inspiration towards today's show. And I had another topic, but I figured this was more important because, we need to know how to deal with it. And it came into questioning how to deal with negative family members. Again, we're about positivity. So how do we deal with negative family members? Well, you have to. I got a good information from this lady named Carmen Jubenville, who is a writer for Entrepreneurial Women. And she had a very good article regarding this, and I'm going to give you some excerpts from this to help give you a little bit of understanding. She said for her, it was a rule that in my life that anytime I struggle with a relationship, be it family, friends, or what have you, and just to break it down to two parts. The first part is always about what's in it for her. Or in other words, if I'm bothered by someone's behaviors, actions, words, etc., in a particular relationship, that's my cue that there's a lesson in it for me one way or another. The way she sees it, if there's nothing for me to learn, then there would be no trigger at all. So a quick rule of thumb, if it triggers you, it has something to teach you. So let's let it start with you. And the thing is, what's in it for me? She also mentioned that what is this particular family member showing you about yourself? Maybe it's that you need to stand up for yourself by setting clear boundaries. Maybe it's that you, yourself, have a negative attitude about something in your own life. Maybe it's that you're being critical because you're annoyed with this person for completely different reasons, but never have spoken your mind about it to him or her. So it's giving you the opportunity to reflect and stand up for yourself. Always look at it as an opportunity to turn the page, or an opportunity to flip the script, as they say. Now, they say the second part is what's in it for that person. Now, chances are that you're a very good person, and they also need to learn a lesson from your behavior. But let's face it, you can never make someone else learn a lesson. That sometimes people have to learn for themselves. You can't force anybody. Trying to change another person is like trying to change the weather. Good luck. So what do? We accept them and we let it go and give it to God. Now, I know that is something that we all speak it. We all work very hard, and some things we do and some things we don't. You just have to let it go because some people are just not going to get it. And with this particular family member, I made sure I have to constantly remind myself that I let it go because it's not going to happen any other way if you don't do it. So you definitely have to let it go. One of the things that you also have to do is set clear boundaries with that person. When your family member takes a turn towards negative discussion, you can say something like, I'm really working hard to stay focused on positive things in my life, so I'd rather not talk about that right now. If they become offended, explain to them that it's not about them. It's about you just trying to make a positive change in your life. From there, you can change the subject and talk about something uplifting. Maybe some accomplishments some other family members have made. Maybe some other accomplishments you have made or they may have done. Maybe they got a promotion. Maybe they just made it to another day on their job, another year. Because we all know that people are laying people off. So it's just all about, doing positive things. So that's one thing you have to do. Even if they persist, even after you voice your boundaries, maintain your position by repeating your original request. If the original request continues to be disrespectful, then explain to your family member that you have to end the conversation. Now, it's very hard. Um, People sometimes don't want to do that. They want to just sit there and still talk about certain things and still express their views. But you have to let it go and give it up, because sometimes people are just not going to do it. Another thing that you have to be considerate about is, like, how do we deal with it? And why should I be positive? Why should I be thinking about the other person? It's all about me. Well, true. It could be about you. But you also have to deal with how you interact with others. And I'm not saying give up your thoughts, your feelings, change yourself. And we always have to change ourselves for the right reasons. A lot of times we say the same thing of, like, I'm me, just have to accept me, and yada, yada, yada. That may be true. But at the same time, we have to change ourselves. Whether we're a type A personality, B, C, D, whatever those metrics are. Maybe we're all about control. Maybe we're all about less control. We have to always continue to work on ourselves. We may not be perfect. We may not get there as fast as we want to, or as fast as somebody else wants to. But as long as you're making steps towards that direction, and you know that you are, then that's all that matters. But what's the health benefits on all this? Yes, there is health benefits. Now, it may not be benefits instantly on a dollar that takes out your paycheck, but down the line, it can save you some money, because you're not sitting there spending necessarily on tongue-tied, forgive me, not necessarily extra money on health concerns and stuff like that, because it's good for your heart. You're not stressing your body and things. Typically, you will have an increased lifespan. The Mayo Clinic stated that you will have a 78% chance of living a longer lifespan than was slated for you, your culture, your gender, if you have positive thinking every day, if you give yourself to at least an hour's worth of positive thinking every day. Now, that's something. You have a chance of living on average of 7.8 years longer. So 7 years, 9 months longer. Now, yes, maybe a few more years in taxes you got to pay to the almighty Uncle Sam, but you still 7.5 years longer. Isn't that something? To give yourself an hour's worth of positive thinking. Either be that through prayer, reading, meditation, whoever you pray to, and you put your hands together, all those different things. It's amazing. Lower rates of depression. There's a 48% less likely that you will go through depression for an extended period of time if you also give an hour's worth of time towards positive thinking and actions. That's something. Now, I know people go through depression. I've been through it. A lot of people have been through it. A whole bunch of stuff. But, the fact that you can give a little bit of time and help lower your chance or in being in long stages, it's really something. Lower levels of distress. We can all deal with that. Very good level of distress, so we don't have to go through all those different things. Greater resistance to the common cold. Now, that's something. You can have more energy, can deal with a lot of different things, and positive energy, positive stuff within your body can help knock off all those barriers, because you don't have time to let it sink in. You're moving. Better psychological and physical well-being. That's obvious. It's not hurting your heart. It also gives you a reduced risk of death from cardiovascular disease. You have a 62% chance of not experiencing any cardiovascular disease if you spend an hour's worth of positive thinking or action every day. I wonder how much better if you spend 2 hours, or just better yet, all day long. It's a tough world out there. And anytime you can give positive thinking and save yourself some heart problems, or any other cardiovascular disease, hey, better coping skills during hardships and times of stress. That's something that we always could use. People need better coping skills, because it's not easy. People going through all those different things. So it's something that you have to do a better job of. And you wonder why it's unclear people engage in positive thinking, why people don't want to engage in positive thinking. Misery loves company. That is the doggone truth. Misery loves company. And we need to make sure we stay positive in those manners and and do what we can. Don't let that misery get you. Always stay positive. Let it strengthen you. And let it do what you need to do. Now, I'm going to play a couple of commercials real quickly for our sponsors and things, but we're going to continue right back with this wonderful conversation. So stay strong, stay positive, and see you in 2 or 3 minutes.
Where can you find two of the most craziest, funniest people in the city of Richmond and beyond?
Hey, you can find us on LegacyInternetRadio.com. What is the show called?
It's the Green Room version 2.0 with me, Jay Grizzy, and co-host comedian Ness Lissa P. Every Wednesday, LegacyInternetRadio.com, 7 to 9 p.m. Also, mixlr.com/the Green Room V20. We're going to blow up bigger than K. Michelle and Nicki Minaj's booty.
Oh, my goodness. That is a big blow up.
Yeah, we want to blow up like that. So if y'all want to have fun and trip with us every Wednesday, check us out here at LegacyInternetRadio.com.
Hey, we talk about more than booties, though.
Talk about other things.
Did they just play that? The Music Only Show, heard exclusively right here on Legacy Internet Radio every single Friday night. Friday night's the place to be on Legacy Internet Radio, playing all kinds of joints. Hip-hop music, R&B, soul, rock, reggae, pop music. We're going to play some 80s. Whatever it is you want to hear, you probably going to hear it right here on Did They Just Play That? The Music Only Show right here on Legacy Internet Radio, preceded by a Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Music Mix at 6. Every single Friday night, the place to be. Legacy Internet Radio for Did They Just Play That? Because we're going to probably play some songs that's going to make you say, really? Did they just play that? Exclusively right here on Legacy Internet Radio.
My party is non-stop, y'all, with Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez. Here on LegacyInternetRadio.com on Saturdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Woo!
Tired of wearing that same old raggedy t-shirt to group events, civic, and work situations? Then won't you check out our folks, Live Action Captions. They offer t-shirt services here in the Richmond and Tri-City area, offering multicolored direct-to-garment printing at an affordable price. Guess what? No charge for changing colors for a design either. Pick and choose whatever you want out of the rainbow. No minimums at all. Discounts at 25 or more. If you'd like to rock one of these hot shirts that we here at Legacy Internet Radio do, then you can get with Live Action Captions at 804-640-7180. Again, that's 804-640-7180. And for all the folks who don't like to use the telly, we got it on the internet at live-action-captions at comcast.net. Again, live-action-captions at comcast.net, and at that same title on Facebook and Instagram. No need to worry about it shrinking. We got you covered. Live Action Captions.
This is Marcus J. of Legacy Internet Radio, and this segment of our show is sponsored by the Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins-Williams, ODPC. She's my eye doctor, y'all, and she makes sure that everything is great and copacetic with my eyes, making sure I don't have any glaucoma, any cataracts, stigmatisms, or anything like that. So call her up at 804-327-1640, 804-327-1640, or drop by at 7124 Forest Hill Avenue, Suite B in Richmond, Virginia, 23225. She's got a great selection of stylish eyewear, takes all kinds of insurances. So definitely make sure you check out the Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins-Williams, ODPC, at 804-327-1640. That's 804-327-1640. Independence is key to building your legacy. Legacy Internet Radio, the place to be for socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor, comedy, music, and the top sports stories of the week. Legacy Internet Radio, the place to be for Ain't No Hashtag with Marcus J on Mondays and Live in Radio on Tuesdays. The Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzy and Lester P on Wednesdays. Iron Horse Radio on Thursdays. Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Mix on Fridays, along with Did They Just Play That, the music only show, also on Fridays. Replaying Did They Just Play That on Saturdays, followed by Deep House Sessions with your girl DJ Renee Melendez on Saturday nights. Legacy Internet Radio, the place to be. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor, music and comedy, and the top sports stories of the week. Independence is key to building your legacy. Legacy Internet Radio.
Holistic care for the mind, body, and spirit. Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC is a parent company for Organic Creations, Jewelry by Design, Miller Publishing, and Consultation Services. Organic Creations offers you the best in natural, homemade skin and hair care products. Jewelry by Design allows you, the customer, to design your own jewelry as it is custom made just for you. Thinking of self-publishing a book or novel? Check out Miller Publishing and Consultation Services. Free Spirit Enterprises is where holistic care meets mind, body, and spirit. Visit us at freespiritenterprisesco.biz. That's freespiritenterprisesco.biz. Or you can call 804-252-6562. Like us on Facebook under Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC.
Well. We are here, part of Legacy Internet Radio. This is Enliven Radio. I'm your host, the one and only Mr. LP Stephen Sykes. Excuse me, throat tongue-tied a little bit with this weather, so please forgive me. Again, this show is all about positivity, and we want you to do the right thing. I want to thank everybody who's listening to us out there on legacyinternetradio.com, those who are listening to us on the MixLR page. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so Mr. Listening to us, Mr. Cutting Edge. We appreciate you. We love you. Keep up with the good work, man. Don't know what I would do without you, and everybody else that's listening out there, and doing what we can. And we're just trying to do all the positive things we can. We miss you, bro. Keep up with the good work, man. You got a lot of things coming. I'm gonna get you on the show, man. I know you out there working hard, but we're gonna get you on the show. Again, our theme is about positivity, and we have to stay positive in this world. Like I said before, we're not the only ones out here, and the decisions that you do not only affect you, but they affect other people in the world around you and yourselves and the family and everybody else. So you have to stay positive and make sure you do the right thing. And again, you may feel like, Stephen's just trying to tell me what to do again. No, I'm just trying to help encourage your life and do the right things. I'm going to go give you something and that you may say, okay, this is jumping the shark, but we're going to remain positive. This one is about simple ways to say hello. And you know what? We all know how to say hello here in the U.S. Hello, hi, how are you? But do you not know how to say hello in other languages? And now, I can't personally speak in all those other languages. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. But it's good to know how to say hello in different languages. Not just when you travel, but just in other, you maybe meet somebody and you happen to have a conversation. You find out from another language. It's always nice to be able to sit there and at least try to learn and have a little bit of understanding. And you know what? It is also a positive thing to do. Now, I am going to do the best I can with the words. But, hey, we'll see what we can do. First one is from French, is bonjour. It's formal to use. Now, some of us we're familiar with the word bonjour. It's formal and is used in daytime. But bonsoir, which is bonsoir, is formal and is evening. So, that's something positive to use. Another word is in Hebrew is shalom. Informal is just hi. Italian is ciao, CIL. I'm working on it. Oh my, we have a caller. Let's see, who do we have today? Hello. You have called Enliven Radio. I'm your host, the one and only Mr. LP Stephen Sykes. And who do we have on the line today?
Hi, Stephen. It's Torski.
Hey, Torski. How are you doing today?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Oh, we in trouble now. We got the great Miss Torski online. Ooh, I'm going to have to sit up and cheer. Get ready for this one. How's everything been going for you today?
Everything has been going well. We're getting hit here on the East Coast with a little bit more wintry precipitation, but I personally kind of like the snow. Kind of clears up the air a little bit to have us manage those allergies a little bit better in the spring. So,
well, that is true. I suffer through year-long allergies: winter, spring, summer, fall. So,
oh my gosh, that's tough.
It is. So now,
that's tough.
Now it's snowing on your private island. I think you have an island off of Florida somewhere of yours, or I know it's snowing over there. I'm very sorry. Please don't hit us, us here in Virginia.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears.
Well, today's show, first off, before we get into that, we're always about encouraging small business and recognizing hard-working people. And, I know you don't have to work too hard. You're counting your money every day, multimillionaires like you. But if you don't mind, could you tell us a little bit about your small business?
Well, I certainly like to, Stephen. Again, good evening. My name is Torski Dobson-Arnold, and I am America's top career confidence coach. And I am a motivational speaker, published author, and owner of a career services firm called Your Career Confidence, LLC. And so I work with entry-level to very, very high-level executives and professionals in all industry and all types to serve them in the capacity of marketing themselves, both on paper, online, and in person, to help individuals create career opportunities for themselves sooner rather than later.
Oh, my. Ooh, I feel confident already. Ooh. Now, I'm always an energetic person, so I don't have a problem. But now, with your career confidence coaching and things like that, one of the things we've been speaking about today is positivity, which goes perfectly along the lines of your platform.
Absolutely. I think confidence and positivity go hand in hand, really. I think in being positive in all avenues of your life, both personally, professionally, always finding a way to see the glass half full versus half empty is a direct correlation in the confidence that you exude in career, in your personal life, in your professional life. And so I really feel like the two attributes go hand in hand. There was a time when I was a very negative person just because of life circumstances and certainly things that, happened to me and around me much, much earlier on, as a child, as a teen growing up. And because of that, I had developed over that time frame the woe is me mentality where, life happened to me and I didn't, I couldn't create positive outcomes and positive things for myself because, of my background and because of what I've been through. And I like to use those things to kind of over time just develop this dark cloud. And when I was able to read some books of individuals today that I look up to as mentors in my field, in my profession, and see that everybody has a story and that everybody's gone through something. And even as alone as I felt, there was somebody that was right there with me, you know, maybe right next door, maybe in a whole nother state. But the fact that they had survived and gotten through, and I looked at their experience and correlated that into my own survival, I was able to kind of find that silver lining to the dark cloud and to look at the glass and see it half full versus half empty. So it's certainly a mindset change. And I think in developing that kind of positive mindset, you have to develop certain habits, certain things that you just build into your everyday life, things that you do, you know, for that 21 days straight to create that, you know, don't have to think about it habit anymore, that really allows you to propel through that positivity, through the level of confidence that I think is inside of all of us.
Now, let me ask you a question. First of all, I've known you for a long time, so I never thought you was a negative person. You were mean to me one time because I came early and you were trying to eat your lunch. I ain't going to talk about that.
Well, you know how it is trying to come between, you know, a sister from the country and her food.
Where are you from now? I'm going to let it slide on that one, but that's okay.
Right.
But what part of town in the world that you're from, by the way?
I was born in a really, really small town right outside of the capital of Virginia, right outside of Richmond, Virginia, about 25 miles east of the capital. And so a little place called Charles City County.
Oh,
and
you was in the log
growing
cabin.
up, and growing up in Charles City, you know, it's the kind of place where, you know, the folks that you start out going to school with is exactly the same folks that you graduate high school with. You know, folks know everybody. Families have history with one another, good and bad. And so that very country, homogeneous feel. You know, folks look like you or were kin to you or maybe even part of your family. And so I come from very, very humble beginnings. But I'm very appreciative of those beginnings because it always helped me to stay centered, you know, and to remain solid and steadfast in who I am and whose I am.
Well, one of the things, the reason why I asked that question is now me spending time, I'm not originally from there, but I still call it home in a lot of ways. You know, Martinsville, Henry County, and we're both experiencing small towns, small growth and things, and it gives you a lot of, you know, you might say security and a centered mentality. But at the same time, sometimes you have a little bit of the small-minded thinking.
Yes.
And with that, there's
yes,
lack of positivity.
I totally agree with that. And, you know, again, I think, you know, being raised in a big city has its advantages and disadvantages. Being raised in a small town, you know, offers you the same kind of privilege. There's some value to that. There's some benefits in that, but there's certainly some downsides to that as well. And, you know, with that, you know, can come the small thinking mentality. And I'll be real honest with you, Stephen. I don't know. I don't know where that seed was planted for me, or where the idea that I could be and do anything that I put my mind to. I don't know where that came from, because again, that certainly wasn't where I always have had my thoughts, you know, coming from a small town. And again, just not always thinking positively because of things out of my control, et cetera. But when I look back, you know, over my experiences, I don't discount any of them, the good or the bad, because I think they really, for all of us, they have an impact on what we can do today. You know, having your tragedies, you know, end up being your testimonies, you know, to encourage others, to inspire others, to lift others up. And so, I'm very appreciative of my experiences today. I can't always say that was the case, but today I am so, I don't know, excited and always willing to share, you know, my story, if you would, to those that see me, and I think sometimes get this understanding or maybe this notion that sometimes when you rise to new heights, you haven't had more humble beginnings. So I always like to use my story to encourage others.
Now, let me ask you a question. You are always in a supervisor role. You've been in lady in charge all the time. And you are safe to say, an African-American woman, black woman?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to hit you a two-part question.
Okay.
First part is, how do you remain positive when there's always the negative aspect of, we hear, don't put a woman in charge, especially a black woman in charge, because she's just going to come down, be nasty, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
So the second part is, how do you discipline or how do you work with a coworker or discipline someone who's working as an employee of you or contract, whatever, and still remain positive?
Those are really, really good questions. I'll take the second one first, just because it's more
Easier.
recent in my thoughts and my mind. So, coming from a human resources background, once I graduated high school and set my sights for college, I went off to college and initially, as most high school freshmen, kind of floundered in what I wanted to major in, and eventually settled on a Bachelor's of Arts degree from Mary Baldwin College, and I majored in marketing management with a communications minor. And so one of the things that again, just in course of events would lead me into was a 10-year strategic career in human resources management. And I've worked for a number of state government agencies and private organizations here in the Metro Richmond area. And during that time frame, I have, reported to a number of managers, and towards the end part of that career, that 10-year span, I've had the opportunity to have individuals report to me. And I believe, in my own experiences, one of the ways to remain positive, or maybe even to share constructive criticism in a positive way, is to really set, Stephen, your expectations for individuals very early on and very clearly to those individuals. Certainly it was my goal that in setting those expectations in their role in special projects, maybe just even in what professionalism meant in our department, maybe versus other departments where they had worked before, they had come from, because as you know, Stephen, every company and even every department has its own subculture and kind of way of doing things.
That is true.
So once you set that expectation, if there's an opportunity where you must come back and maybe provide, more constructive criticism, or, even, again, as a fact of being employed and working for an employer, maybe even disciplinary action, I think you're able to deliver that in a, and I don't know if positive is the right word, but in a very constructive, professional way, so that, one, that individual knows that, you really were serious and was very specific on the level of output that you expected from them, the level of professionalism you expected from them. But more importantly, I think it becomes a positive, Stephen, because you're really telling that person, here's how you can be great. And I think a lot of times individuals hear, I'm not doing this well, I'm not doing that well, obviously she doesn't like me. When in turn, I think it's just the opposite. I think that person is saying, I see so much greatness in you. You could be so much more successful in your career if you attempted or took action in these specific areas. And so, again, it's all in perspective and how you look at it. And I think as a leader, as a leader in HR, when I had to deliver those not so fun information or share that kind of corrective action with those that I supervised, it was my hope, and certainly I shared it in a way that I wanted it to be something that they could work on and something that they saw as a way for them to be better and do better, and hopefully one day be in my shoes if that's where they wanted to be, or to excel in whatever area or career path that they choose. So I don't see that as a non-positive thing, because I'm telling that individual, and I hope all supervisors are telling that individual, here's what you need to do to be great. Here's what you need to do to be successful. So I just think it's really, really important, and I think you are being a positive person by doing that. I would see it as a negative if you didn't share how that person could do some things better, or maybe be seen more professionally or more positively in their role. Because if you don't share it with them, in my opinion, it means you don't care. And I've always cared for the people that reported to me.
Now, the second part of it, well, it's going to be your second answer, but the first part of my question about how it, and let me, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background towards this. Now, you and I both heard the stupid stories, negativity, and we see where it comes from, unfortunately. And I've been in situations where, in many positions that I've been at, we, unfortunately, some of them were black women in charge. Me, I don't care. I'm not happy. Hey, I don't care that's who's in charge, but I'm happy to see a black woman get an opportunity. But I see many of them blow it because of whatever's going on with them. They take it out on a job. I've seen it where the boyfriend was cheating, the husband wasn't cheating, husband wasn't giving it to him right in the bedroom. I keep it real. She came in pissed off for the last 2 months and took it out on everybody. Or if her son did something wrong, everybody got it. She was on bad mood of her cycle. She may have been PMSing, whatever. And I'm not saying anybody is not human. Okay,
right,
they go through these different things. But to take it out on a daily basis or constantly, and I've seen it, and where you did not hire somebody because they look like your husband or your ex-boyfriend.
Ooh, okay, stuff. Yeah.
So that leads to these negative things in the jobs, and you see them loud and all this other stuff. Now that we come to this situation of, okay, we're just seen as not being positive. We don't have a way to be positive. How do you show that positivity within yourself on the job, or let me say, the image that people have of lack of positivity within black women who are in charge or supervisory positions?
Well, one of the things that I believe, Stephen, given my experiences and just the experiences of friends and colleagues that are still in my former career field, human resources, one of the things that I believe is that if you come from a place of I don't know, if you come from a place of authenticity, I believe there's a way to thwart the black angry female manager stereotype that I do know still exists for many, many African American women in roles and maybe leadership capacities amongst all professions and industries. I do think that perception still exists, but I do believe there's a way to come out of it. And again, whether or not a black woman is mean because of external circumstances, shaky home life, poor relationships, with spouse, with children, with parents, with in-laws, whatever it is. I think, here's what I know. I won't talk about what I think. Here's what I know. When I came from a place of emptiness in myself, when I believed that I was destined for average, given my beginnings, when I believed wholeheartedly that I couldn't do the things I saw other people do, it made me treat individuals differently because I didn't feel good about myself. And I think if black women leaders across the country are able to recognize that, maybe through mental health assistance, through their health care, maybe directed confidential sessions with, someone in their clergy, in their congregation, and they're able to maybe have that self-discovery, I think it allows them to lead from a place of positiveness. But I believe that there are many, they're not all, but there are many and not just black women, Stephen. I don't want to pigeonhole us as, this kind of leader. I know women in general have that stigma as being leaders, that, oh my gosh, we have a woman leader, and, who's going to come into work today? And, just that kind of ideology or philosophy about women leaders in general.
Exactly.
And I've had some great women leaders, and I've had some not so great, women leaders. And I just think the sooner we're able to come to a place where we're developing professionally, personally, and spiritually, and when we're working and growing in those three areas in our own lives, that comes out in our leadership. That comes out in our management styles. That comes out, and people may not always agree with what we say or what we do, but they respect it because they know it comes from a place of fairness, a place of authenticity. Hey, I think the biggest thing that any leader can say, Stephen, is, hey guys, I messed up. Wasn't the best idea. Thought it was, I messed up. Here's how we can make it work, or here's how we retract that, and build something from this mishap or this issue that has created. And I think so many leaders today are afraid of owning up to that mistake, or maybe owning up to, hey, I was having a really, really crappy day. I'm imperfect. I'm human. I want to apologize for that. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to get it right every day. I don't think anybody, and you can chime in and agree with me, Stephen, if you had those kind of days, I don't think anybody gets it right every day. But if we have more pluses than misses, then I think at the end of the day, we've led from a place of integrity. And I think that positiveness or that leadership style where people will want to follow us, not because they have to, because they see that we're growing and that we're getting better, and that we purposely and specifically want those as following us to be better and to be more and to do more and have more success in their life. I think you're going to have folks following you even without the title of manager or supervisor. Those are true leaders. And I think women leaders, I think African American women leaders, I think male leaders across the country can all kind of take in that philosophy, of continuing to work on his or herself as a way to create more positiveness in the workplace.
Amen to that. And that's where, I don't want to pigeonhole, to piggyback to what you're saying, I don't want to pigeonhole all women or even black women. I'm just coming from a place of where you and I have both been in this situation. I'm not a woman.
Right.
But I just want to sit there and say, okay, your experience for you, and by any means anybody, we're not speaking for all women, okay?
Right.
But we're just speaking from experience and how we can look at it objectively and how we can come across it in a better way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you this question. Now that we've tackled this from your perspective, okay, now we have the State of the Union speech tonight. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we are Miss President Dobson-Arnold, okay? Yes, you are our first president, a female president. And this world is hurting. We got problems with immigration. We have problems with pay. We have the minimum wage. We have problems with housing. We have problems with just people catching up with the bills, the job market. Even though there's the job they say is going down, but people are not getting paid good jobs. And we're having to work 2 or 3 jobs. We're having trouble paying our kids in school. We had all of us, you and I, have seen this and experienced trying to get minority businesses and small businesses to grow. We're hurting. I need President Dobson-Arnold to give me a positive speech and what's going to be done. You got 3 minutes. Tell me your speech.
I don't know. I think if it could have been solved in a speech or in a State of the Union, I think given the opportunity, President Clinton would have delivered it, or President Bush Sr. or President Bush Jr. could have done it. So I don't know that our current President Obama, can do it either. But here's what I have noticed in my dealings in the world and my experiences working as an entrepreneur, and also still having my pulse on the labor market and who's hiring and who's still cutting jobs, etc. I believe that as a country, there is oodles of opportunity to revive our labor market. I don't think it's an easy fix. I think it can be done. I think as a people, we have become very cynical and in some cases apathetic to our season, our low season, where there's more stories of, woe is us and, oh my gosh, our debt is here, our debt ceiling is here and this isn't, being done correctly and this is happening wrong. And again, I would have to, just from me, not that I'd ever want or ever desire to run for that highest office in the land, but if given the opportunity to say my piece on it, again, as a people, as an African American woman, I can only speak from my perspective and my slice of the pie, living in the most multicultural, multi-ethnic, diverse nation ever, is that we have always, as a people, found a way to make it work. As an African American people, we have overcome, in my opinion, the lowest of lows, the worst of worst in our history, as an enslaved people. And so I am always, and again, call me the optimist, but I am always excited about what can happen. And I'm always eager to explore the possibility of something new, something better. I'm not the first person to say, oh, well, that'll never work because it didn't work before. I feel like if the Edisons and the Ben Franklins of the world would have said that, where would we be today? And so as a collective body, I believe we have to encourage one another and lift one another up. One of the areas of resiliency that we don't possess and we don't connect to today like our forefathers did is this to reach out and help our fellow man. I think we kind of suffer in silos today, and that's a shame. And anytime I have an opportunity, whether it be at a grocery store or being helpful to my neighbor or anything, I think if everybody decided to help somebody else, I think we could lift this nation back up, to that better state. I believe we're going to get there, but I don't believe we can get there taking sides and just kind of standing our ground with, I'm not going to work with that person, or I don't want to talk to that person, or I don't want to play fair in the sandbox today. I think we have to put whatever happened in the past aside, and I believe we've got to come together to lift one another up. This country wasn't built on a Democratic side or a Republican side. It was we the people. And so if we the people come together as a united nation, I think anything is possible. And I don't think one leader of that nation is going to be the answer to any of that, regardless of who he is or who she is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wasn't expecting to say it was going to be answered. I don't expect it all, but I'm letting you slide because I wanted you to be in a presidential forum, but I'm letting you slide on that one.
I've never I don't know. I've never said, "Hey, I want to be president when I grow up." It's never been a goal of mine. And given its current state, again, there's certain cliffs I'm willing to jump off, and and to take those calculated risks. But that wouldn't be one of it. That would not be one of them.
I would honestly, and I'm not saying this because of Obama's in office. I would not mind the running for president, but I've been asked several times to run for mayor or governor or senator or something like that. But right now, certain laws preclude me. But I will be honestly concerned because, to be honest with you, there's a lot of evil people out in this world. And I say this earlier today, and I always say it, whatever decisions you make, don't just affect me and affect others. And considering that I have a strong network of people that I know and I care and love about, it's not about me. I could care less, but I'll be concerned about people attacking my friends, you and others. I don't want anybody else being hurt by me running for office. And I would believe, and considering my arms are far-reaching and my views are strong, people will do anything they can to, not because they know they can't get me, but they will get me by like, oh, we're going to tear down, your business, another friend's business, and everything else because of your association with me. And I don't want to do that to people. And so that would be my only real concern, But I will. Other than that, that'd be pretty much the case. But I thank you so very much and everything. And one good thing, I have not even got a chance to touch this. How do you remain positive within a marriage?
My husband and I will celebrate 13 years of marriage in August. And one of the ways I'm able to remain positive in my marriage is to keep communications open about everything. I think, everybody's like, oh, you got to communicate. Oh, you got to communicate. And obviously that makes a whole lot of sense when everything's going right. But it takes a really big person to say, I'm not happy right now, and here's the things that I'm not happy with. And to have that level of trust that you could share that and that be received in, oh, okay, well, what can we do to change that, that outcome? One of the things that I've kind of understood, too, is that in the time that we've been together, we've raised 2 of our 3 kids, and there's one still at home. And so I understand now that marriages have phases. And I think a wonderful, wonderful, wise lady that attends my place of worship here in the area told me, she said, Torski, what you have to remember is that, falling in love and being in love is 2 different things, 2 separate, totally different things. She said, the one thing you got to be careful of is that as you fall in and out of love with your spouse, just make sure that you all are not both in the out of love slot at the same time. So you have to know that loving somebody and being in love with them is 2 different things. And so there are going to be times when in a marriage you really like hone in on that parental role, and that's kind of focus at that point, and and that's what you're doing right now. And then as phases of parent rearing, move from phase to phase to phase, you can go into different phases of your marriage. And so it's that comfortable phase, and very early on it's that kind of dreamy, I can't live without you kind of phase. And I've come to understand that each one of those phases have value, and that's not a bad place to be. But you have to grow, and you have to grow together. And you have to communicate together on everything, about everything. So it's not that it's not that positive means that you're always excited and just, oh my God, I'm so giddy for him and he's so giddy for me. But it's positive and we're in a good place.
Well, Miss Torski Dobson-Arnold, I thank you very, very, very so much for your information, your knowledge, your courage, and and everything else. You know, I always love talking to you. I can sit back and just take notes for years. I know people tell you to be quiet sometimes, but I never tell you to do that.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Stephen. Can I share my upcoming event with your listeners in case they want to learn more about how to build positive and build confidence in their careers?
Oh, I was just about to ask you all of that. I'd be so very upset. You were supposed to come down here on the show. I'm going to call you out. This young lady was supposed to come on the show a couple of weeks ago, but backed out on me. because I have no money, but she said I'm gonna make this. And I understand she had a job to do. She's gonna get like $50,000. I said, Stephen, I need this money.
Oh my God! I had a speaking engagement I could not turn down. It was kind of one of those. Oh my gosh! It was an international speaking engagement. For any aspiring speakers, if you ever get the opportunity to speak on international soil, definitely create that opportunity and take that opportunity to do that, because I think it'll enhance your speaking career exponentially. And so that's the only reason I turned you down, Steve. And don't try to play it all like I was going to the local library or something.
She was out there, but you know what? I'm going to get out there on that speaking circuit. I know a couple of people kept telling me, no, don't bother, because I tend to get rough and raw with it. But I'm going to get out there on that speaking circuit. I'm going to have to get out there with you. We're going to tour together.
I think there's a space and a place for, all different types of platforms. But I do think you should explore it and really look at where your message would be best received and the kind of audience you want to reach, all that good stuff. We'll talk about it offline.
We'll talk about it offline. Okay, we're going to take it because I'm hitting heavy after schools and bad people. So
there you go. Well, let me share with your listeners about my event. So coming up in less than 2 weeks, I am hosting Richmond's first and only boot camp. It's called Professional Success Secrets Revealed Boot Camp. It will be held at the 4 Points by Sheraton at 4700 Laburnum Avenue here in the Richmond, Virginia area, right over there near the airport and on the east end of our city for those of you who are local. I have a just wonderful host of celebrity and national speakers that are coming in for this event. One of those speakers is one of my nearest and dearest friends, a gentleman by the name of Michael Dorsey. And if the name doesn't ring a bell for you, then when you see his picture on our website, hopefully you'll remember him, because Michael was a top finalist on the season 14 of NBC's show The Biggest Loser. Michael and I have known one another probably, going back to maybe 2008 when we both spoke for the same high school and college organization that we used to speak for. And he's had that experience in being able to go on The Biggest Loser and I told him he lost a whole person as far as I'm concerned, and just charting his life to create healthier options, putting more fitness into his day-to-day schedule. Because at the end of the day, we all have the same 24. It's just this idea as to how you are maximizing your time and getting the things done in your 24 that really creates results. So Michael will be talking with attendees about overcoming his challenges in living a healthy life and being fit, and his experience on The Biggest Loser, and hopefully building some positive vibes and some confidence in those who are going to be in attendance who may be in that same place of discouragement or trying to do it and not seeing results, and really what it takes to make that kind of lifestyle change and stick with it, as he's done now for over a year since he's done the show. Another one of my speakers, he's actually my celebrity guest speaker, and he's not even being advertised, but just to give you a hint, this gentleman was highlighted on ABC's Secret Millionaire series, and he's going to come and speak about his experiences and the level of volunteerism and the level of giving back that he's now dedicated in his life because of that experience. So we have a wonderful, again, lineup of speakers. A local celebrity, Michelle Oliver, with Virginia Asset Management, is going to be speaking on how we can manage our money better. The Queen of Health, Miss Tammy Holcher, is another local and national celebrity, and she's going to be talking about health and fitness from a perspective of what we put in our bodies, and being able to have our bodies work for us and not against us based on what we eat and what we put into it. And then obviously myself, as America's top career confidence coach, I'm going to be sharing with attendees all about how they can get the phone to ring, to create interview opportunities into job offers, and how to really create the confidence that they need to navigate this very challenging. I think you mentioned earlier, Stephen, about our labor market and finding jobs and how to navigate that and get recognized sooner rather than later. Because a lot of times folks don't realize that what they're not doing, or maybe sometimes what they are doing, is hindering them from getting that next job. And so I'm going to be talking and teaching individuals how to be recognized and how to get the phone ring and to get those job offers. We also have an Ask the Experts panel where I've brought together a number of my former colleagues in the HR industry from a number of Fortune 500 companies here in the area, and they're going to talk about what it takes to get a job at their companies. So it's going to be a fantastic experience. Anybody that's interested in learning and growing and becoming positively confident in areas of health and wealth and fitness and finance and entrepreneurship. I don't want to forget my entrepreneur of the group, my friend and colleague, William Lee, out of North Carolina. He was dubbed the hardest working man in North Carolina back in 2011. He's an author, he's an entrepreneur, and he's a very talented graphic designer. He has his own company and has a number of celebrity and national clients that he serves in that capacity. And so he's going to talk about how he moved from being a high school dropout to being a successful entrepreneur. So it's going to be a jam-packed session day. We're going to start at 9 a.m. We're going to go, as long as 5 p.m., maybe even 7 p.m., depending on how many more questions and how we can continue to serve those in attendance. And individuals are going to get an opportunity to take pictures with me and any of my celebrity guests and get books and other resources and materials so that they can invest in themselves. So I know that was a whole lot to say, but I'm a speaker, so you know. But if folks want to learn more about this exciting event, they can simply log on to professionalsuccesssecrets.com. There they can see the bios of all of my wonderful speakers and actually register for that event. And I am actually, and I'm going to give it away, I wasn't going to give it away until later, Stephen, but on Friday, because January is my birthday month. I'm a Capricorn, and I celebrated 38 wonderful years back on.
That's why you just turned
19th.
30.
I'm
older than you. Oh yes, bow down, girl.
So because this is my birthday month, y'all, I wanted to end on a bang. So there's going to be a last chance opportunity on Friday, January the 31st. If you go to professionalsuccesssecrets.com, you're going to be able to register for this event at 75% off of the normal registration fee, the at-door registration fee. And so I understand that, in our current market, there are some individuals that want to be able to get this information. They want to be able to start charting a course of action items, of to-do lists, so they can get out of this rut of unemployment, so they can get out of this rut of, not being healthy and not being physically fit. So I want to make this investment in themselves as affordable as I can. And so starting on the 31st, which is this Friday, Stephen, individuals can go to our site, professionalsuccesssecrets.com, and register for this wonderful event at 75% off of the at-door registration. I couldn't make this investment any more meaningful and doable for anybody out there that's ready to chart a new course. So I hope everybody who's interested goes and signs up too, because seats are filling really fast.
Also, those seats are coming down. I got, I'm getting myself a ticket and everything.
Yay! Yay! I knew you were were going to be there. I knew you were going to be there.
See, you're making it hard on me because I got like 5 events that day. And everything.
Oh no!
And, we doing? We have. I'm giving out some clothes for the homeless.
I saw that. I did. I saw that, and that's good stuff. And yeah, I'm all about service too.
So I may get there a little bit later, so you please forgive me, but I'm going to come. And then I'm supposed to be filming an event down in the Tidewater area that day later on that night.
Oh my God!
So I'm gonna.
Well, if you come by, I will be sure to give you a shout out, from the stage, and definitely be able to recognize you because, Stephen, I know that you like me, are a big thinker, and we're visionaries, and so I certainly know what it means to, have individuals that have supported me come out to support me, and just know that I've got your back as you have mine. So I totally will appreciate any time you can come out and support my event. I'm totally indebted. Thank you so much.
That's no problem. 2 cool questions. Is your event being video recorded?
It is. It is. I was talking to my videographer and photographer just today, actually. And so, yes, the event will be videotaped, and then pieces of that, not the entire day, but pieces of that, individuals will be able to upload from YouTube. But what I probably am looking more forward to doing is being able to create an opportunity where an individual who maybe cannot attend that Saturday might be able to make the investment in getting that information through our DVD series that I'm looking to create from that event. So
okay, good, because that was my main question. Because if it wasn't video recorded, I'm going to have to step up in there and get it going.
Yes, I have a wonderful, like I said, team that again is just kind of supporting me where I am, and I'm again being there to be able to help them move and grow as well in their gifts and talents. One of the things that you have to learn, I think, really early, Stephen, and we talked about this, is you need to stay in your lane and know where your gifts are. So that's one of many things that we talk about when it comes to entrepreneurship and being able to create a team of people that do things, in many cases, that they do those things better than you. And so it's important to know that you're not a jack of all trades, but more importantly, to be successful, you shouldn't be a jack of all trades. You should be a subject matter expert in X. So
don't be a jack of all trades, be a subject matter expert.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll be sure to do that.
Yep.
And if it starts at 9 o'clock, am I getting breakfast?
Say it again?
Since it's starting at 9 o'clock, am I getting breakfast?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a continental breakfast is in the price, and there's also heavy afternoon snacks that we're doing in the event. So I think we have like a pretzel bar or taco bar or something in the evening to kind of, help people get the caffeine and all of the salt and sugar they need.
I was
hoping going.
I was hoping I can get some pancakes, some crab and lobster in the morning, and
crepes. Oh my, crab and lobster, really, Stephen? Really?
Hey, I'm just you're doing it up big, And
well, let me tell you. Really, if you really wanted to do breakfast, you should probably only be doing steel-cut oatmeal and some fruit. Let's be real.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. But thank you very much, Ms. Torski Dobson-Arnold. And we're going to go to what website again?
You're going to sign up for Professional Success Secrets Revealed Boot Camp, and that website to learn all about the event is professionalsuccesssecrets.com.
Professionalsuccesssecrets.com. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. We've learned so much. We gained so much. I appreciate it very, very much.
And I appreciate you, Steve. And you have a wonderful evening. And I look forward to seeing everybody at that boot camp. It's going to teach you everything you need to know to become massively successful in career, life, and your business.
All right. And then after that, sometime in February, March, come on and stop by the studio. We'd love to have you.
I am. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to get it etched in stone, and I'm going to get it done.
All right. We appreciate you. You're always a friend of the program. I love you and appreciate you. And say hi to your family for me.
I will, and I appreciate you. You have a good night. I love you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, can we just say we've been schooled? I'm man enough to admit we've been schooled, my butt handed to me, and everything else in between. She did it up, and she did it up right. I thank everybody for being patient and listening to this wonderful interview. We just been just so enrichedly blessed, and I'm appreciative of that. We're going to take a minute again to play a couple of commercials for our company and things. We have to pay the bills, y'all. I understand. But we're going to come back, and we got a couple of more great things for you. See you in a second or two.
Where can you find two of the most craziest, funniest people in the city of Richmond and beyond?
Hey, you can find us on LegacyInternetRadio.com. What is the show called?
It's the Green Room version 2.0 with me, Jay Grizzy, and co-host comedian Lissa P. Every Wednesday, LegacyInternetRadio.com, 7 to 9 p.m. Also, mixlr.com/the Green Room V20. We're going to blow up bigger than K. Michelle and Nicki Minaj's booty.
Oh, my goodness. That is a big blow up.
Yeah, we want to blow up like that. So if y'all want to have fun and trip with us every Wednesday, check us out here at LegacyInternetRadio.com.
Hey, we talk about more than booties, though.
Talk about other things.
Did they just play that? The Music Only Show, heard exclusively right here on Legacy Internet Radio every single Friday night. Friday night's the place to be on Legacy Internet Radio, playing all kinds of joints. Hip-hop music, R&B, soul, rock, reggae, pop music. We're going to play some 80s. Whatever it is you want to hear, you probably going to hear it right here on Did They Just Play That? The Music Only Show right here on Legacy Internet Radio, preceded by a Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Music Mix at 6. Every single Friday night, the place to be. Legacy Internet Radio for Did They Just Play That? Because we're going to probably play some songs that's going to make you say, really? Did they just play that? Exclusively right here on Legacy Internet Radio.
My party is non-stop, y'all, with Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez. Here on LegacyInternetRadio.com on Saturdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Woo!
Tired of wearing that same old raggedy t-shirt to group events, civic, and work situations? Then why don't you check out our folks, Live Action Captions. They offer t-shirt services here in the Richmond and Tri-City area, offering multicolored direct-to-garment printing at an affordable price. Guess what? No charge for changing colors for a design either. Pick and choose whatever you want out of the rainbow. No minimums at all. Discounts at 25 or more. If you'd like to rock one of these hot shirts that we here at Legacy Internet Radio do, then you can get with Live Action Captions at 804-640-7180. Again, that's 804-640-7180. And for all the folks who don't like to use the telly, we got it on the internet at live-action-captions at comcast.net. Again, live-action-captions at comcast.net, and at that same title on Facebook and Instagram. No need to worry about it shrinking. We got you covered. Live Action Captions.
This is Marcus J. of Legacy Internet Radio, and this segment of our show is sponsored by the Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins-Williams, ODPC. She's my eye doctor, y'all, and she makes sure that everything is great and copacetic with my eyes, making sure I don't have any glaucoma, any cataracts, stigmatisms, or anything like that. So call her up at 804-327-1640, 804-327-1640, or drop by at 7124 4th Forest Hill Avenue, Suite B in Richmond, Virginia, 23225. She's got a great selection of stylish eyewear, takes all kinds of insurances. So definitely make sure you check out the Doctor of Optometry, Dr. Euphemia Huggins Williams, ODPC, at 804-327-1640. That's 804-327-1640.
Holistic care for the mind, body, and spirit. Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC is a parent company for Organic Creations, Jewelry by Design, Miller Publishing, and Consultation Services. Organic Creations offers you the best in natural, homemade skin and hair care products. Jewelry by Design allows you, the customer, to design your own jewelry as it is custom made just for you. Thinking of self-publishing a book or novel? Check out Miller Publishing and Consultation Services. Free Spirit Enterprises is where holistic care meets mind, body, and spirit. Visit us at freespiritenterprisesco.biz. That's freespiritenterprisesco.biz. Or you can call 804-252-6562. Like us on Facebook under Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC.
Independence is key to building your legacy. Legacy Internet Radio, the place to be for socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor, comedy, music, and the top sports stories of the week. Legacy Internet Radio, the place to be for Ain't No Hashtag with Marcus J on Mondays and Live in Radio on Tuesdays. The Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzy and Lester P on Wednesdays. Iron Horse Radio on Thursdays. Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Mix on Fridays, along with Did They Just Play That, the music only show, also on Fridays. Replaying Did They Just Play That on Saturdays, followed by Deep House Sessions with your girl DJ Renee Melendez on Saturday nights. Legacy Internet Radio, the place to be. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor, music and comedy, and the top sports stories of the week. Independence is key to building your legacy. Legacy Internet Radio.
And welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, the one and only Mr. LP Steven Sykes of Enliven Radio, along with our co-hosts who are not able to get here today due to the weather, again, that we're having out there here in the East Coast. And please, please, please be safe out there. My lovely co-host, Miss Brandy Richardson, and my boy, Mr. Sincere, are not able to join us due to the weather. But please, I'm telling you guys, if you're listening, I know you're listening, be safe and keep everything warm for you and your families. And everyone out there, please, 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 if it's nothing else, do a few things for me before you get back out on the road. A, brush your snow off your top of your car and the hood and the roof of your trunk so that it's not splashing, hitting everybody else off. 2, if you don't have good wiper blades, spend the $5, $10 to get it. If you don't got it, hey, call a friend, call a neighbor, do whatever you can, because I don't want you crashing. I don't want you crashing with your children. I don't want you crashing without your children. I don't want you crashing at all. So please, 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 please be safe with yourself, because I don't want to see anybody else die. There was already 15 accidents since that I know of, and there's probably more since this show's been live since 7 o'clock. So please be safe out there regarding that, and then, don't be trying to throw a bunch of hot water on your car or doing all these other crazy things that you hear. Just be wise and good decisions. Leave early, and if you're late, oh well. It's always good to be on time, even in the weathers like this. But you know what? Safety is always important. And for those of you who are in bad areas and schools closed, make sure your children, hey, you got books to read. There's stuff online. If you don't have any books from school, first, shame on you. 2, you have the books at home. If you don't have any books at home, shame on you again. And I'm going to get on you, parents. You need some books? Let me know. I'll get you some books. That's not a problem. I got plenty. and I can get you plenty more. So do not have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that. Excuse me. Now, we were just educated by a couple of great people, Ms. Deidre Harshaw of All In Publications, and also Ms. Torski Dobson-Arnold, a career confidence coach. She has a great event coming up on February 8th, and her information is being posted on our radio page and also on my personal page. So we got a lot coming up today, and I got one more special interview coming up for you. So, let's not give up on me now. But now, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. We were talking about how to win at work and give feedback like a leader. Again, sometimes remaining positive is hard, and we all have our good days and bad days. But we hope that if you practice good habits, we will have more good days than we do have past bad days. Now, one of the things when you have to do when you be a leader and you're trying to give feedback as a leader is be discreet, be descriptive. When giving constructive feedback, provide as much information as possible. Don't be vague, don't be rude, and be sure to cover all the areas that needs improvement. Explain where you're coming from. Do you think an employee or colleague is slacking for a particular reason? Let them know. Let them know that your view of the situation could be insightful. Don't be rude and don't be vindictive. And sometimes it may not be well received, but still you have to do it in a much positive way. Another thing that you have to do is explain how you feel. If a poor performance by a colleague is being disruptive and causing a rift in the workplace, tell the person you are addressing how their actions is making you feel, because that's important too. And also just be honest. Don't lie. Successful workplaces thrive in positive environments. So if this is being interrupted, it needs to be addressed quickly and responsibly. Being responsible, it has to be done. Another thing that is, explain what you need. In order for your employer or colleague to heed your critique, be clear about what you need to going forward. Don't leave expectations up for interpretation, because that's what happens all the time. People assume, look like the first three words, which is not good, but please, people assume. Don't do that. Don't leave things up to interpretation. Another thing is give and receive. Now, you might be wondering, okay, Stephen, where are you coming from in this? But after you give feedback, after you give the feedback, it's important that you listen thoroughly to your colleague and be prepared to receive criticism as well. It goes back and forth. It just has to be done. Listen and also accept the person's response and work out a way forward together. Giving and receiving criticism is one of the most uncomfortable situations for a lot of people anytime anyone can experience in their career. But ultimately, it is an opportunity for you, honestly, for you to continuously develop your own skills and as a professional and as a leader, and you can better yourself. Because you have to teach, and when you go through these experiences, go home, share this with your family. Share how you talk to people with your family. So then that way, yes, each situation is different, but it's how you handle it that your children and your family will know, and their children can explain to others. I talk about all the different lessons my grandmother teaches me all the time to people, even to this day. I talked to her just before I even got on the show today. And I'm still giving out lessons from that. And I'm not saying it works all the time, but it's how you handle the situation. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm black and also Native American. My grandmother is Native American. And keep you up for stories of how bad a lot of things that she went through. But one story in particular, and unfortunately it happened here in Richmond, and she's had to come through here quite often. But back then, we're out there on Staples Mill, I believe. I could be incorrect, but I believe it was on Staples Mill Road. Before they had all the nice buildings and things that they had at this time, they did not let She had her ticket early, purchased a month or two early, and she was ready for her trip. But unfortunately, there were more of Caucasians who wanted to get on the train. She was not allowed to, and told them, they even let the black people, a couple of them, get on the train before her. Now, she was very mad, and she had a child with her. I forgot which child was it, but told her, no, we're not letting any engines on the train and all the other little stuff, and treated her very bad. Even somebody drew a little mohawk and tossed it to her and threw stones at her while she was sitting in grass. Wouldn't let her come inside to use the bathroom, and she was outside for a day and a half with her child. Now, when she did get finally on the next train the next day, she was treated very rudely, and then she had a decision to make: be positive and look forward. And she has every right to be angry. And to be honest, I'm not so sure I could have held the same resolve that she had. And I pride myself on trying to remain calm at all times. And she was able to resolve and hold her own, but she was willing to sit there and say, I'm going to make the best of it and be positive. Turns up that she was able to do that. And the conductor of that train and other people around her said, you know what, it gave her a lot of reward for how she handled herself. And she was able to keep moving forward, stay positive, and said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And that's what she did. And then you know what happened? They end up giving her money back. And they actually paid for the train for her to come back on a return trip. And then after each time that she came through, she got a free ticket for the next 4 or 5 trips that she said before she had to pay again. All because she handled herself well and stood positive and did not treat people wrong. Now, I'm not saying every time you do positive things and stuff like that, you're always going to get your money back or it's always going to be something else. I'm not promising you that. But what I am promising you is that you're putting yourself in a positive and more stronger hand and situation than what you're initially were going through. In addition, you are also rewarding your family, bringing positive vibes and energy towards yourself and your life and everybody else by just handling yourself in a proper way. So you never know when positivity can always benefit you, and you have to do that. Again, you're setting yourself up for more great things in life. You've got to be positive. Now, my question to you is, what are you taking yourself from today? Did you write any notes? Are you waiting for the replay? That's fine too. But make sure you get something out of today's discussion about being positive from all the people that we have and people calling in we're going to have shortly. Because it was going to benefit you in the long run. Make sure you take the time out to teach your children how to be positive. Not just say, hey, you got to do this, talk nicely to people, respect people. Show them. Not only tell them, you act that way. A lot of times we go through the whole saying, we heard, do what I say, not how I do, all those other different things we got while we were beaten. When I saw it, you can't do everything what Johnny and Bobby do and things. Let the parents do that. But you have to be smart yourself. Because kids, you're the best, you as a parent, or as a guardian, or a neighbor, or any position that you have, you are your best influence. And sometimes, yes, children, no matter what we do, we're going to do our own thing. We did it when we were our ages, and you best believe that other children and your own children are going to do it. But at least they will have something in the back of their mind, at the very least, of how you did it and handle things positively. And don't be afraid to let them see you make a mistake. Because the good thing is you need to show them how to overcome that mistake. And, I had a child tell me they never saw their parents do anything wrong. So she never knew how to handle a situation when something bad happens. And the parents I talked to her parents about that one time. They said, said if we made a big mistake, we only showed her the good things. We didn't show her the bad things. We didn't show her how we, Brandy don't see parents argue all the time, but we didn't show her how we resolved the situation and talked it out and things. And sometimes it got to a few extra words that the children don't need to hear. But at the same time, you have to show the good and the bad. Because you know what's outside? That's what's out there in the world. The good and the bad. Both sides of the equation. So we need to be sure to focus, do the right thing, and make things happen. And you just have to go up from there. Excuse me, my throat is very bad today. I'm just very, very, very sorry. Now, the next thing I want everybody to do is think about how you're going to deal with negative people in your life. Okay? We talked about how to deal with family members and how to be positive on the job. But, one of the things we have to do is let the negativity pass. Whatever you do not argue with negative people. You're talking to a brick wall. That's all you're doing. Arguing only adds fuel to the fire. A negative person will feed off of any negativity that will strengthen his or her mood or attitude. That's the truth. It will only strengthen them. You're just giving them fire. And I noticed one person said in a quote, I notice when my children are in a crappy mood, it's best to avoid trying to convince them to analyze and adjust their attitude. As soon as I take the approach of being in opposition with them, they seize the opportunity to prove me that life stinks. Their negativity intensifies and the situation gets worse before it gets better. Sometimes the best thing to do is to remain silent and let the negativity pass. Because, sometimes you want to quick to jump in there and raise Cain as a parent or a guardian or a family member ready to smack some children around. And trust me, I see it every day. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to take a step back. I'm not saying to do it every single time, but you have to let's make sure you take a step back and analyze the situation and go from there. Now, I'm not saying to leave the situation alone either. Okay, that's something you definitely cannot do. But you have to sometimes let the negativity pass. It's like through fog. Is it good to drive through a fog? No. Is it good to drive through a snowstorm where you can only see visibility a foot in front of you? No. So why do that with children or just negative people? Negative people also need love. And you might say, well, how is that? But let me explain something to you. You know how difficult it can be to give love and positive attention to negative people? Unfortunately, that is often exactly what they need. Deep inside that mean and critical person is a person that is usually afraid he or she is unlovable. Negative people really do think that they're unlovable, and they try to share that negativity. It is our challenge as individuals to rise above the negative attitude and love the injured person inside. Because I do believe that that person needs love. How do you show love when someone is negative? You must listen to what he or she is trying to tell you. Sometimes it's very hard because some extra words are coming out of their mouths that you don't need to hear. But, still, we have to do what we can. Acknowledge the feelings he or she has by saying something like, you sound very angry right now. Even if you don't quite understand the person's feelings, know that your reality is different than someone else's. And that's something that I really do feel the government and other people feel and don't get, that our reality is different from than theirs. We can do a whole bunch of different things or the same things that the other person wants us to, but our reality is different than the other person. My reality could be different than my sister's. My reality could be different than my own parents. You can have your own sibling or cousin. Everybody's reality is different. And we cannot assume that the same thing for you is the same for the next. And the grass is not always greener. And the grass is not always brown either. This shows legitimate interest in their happiness, and they will appreciate you for that. Offer a hug, even if it's rejected. Okay, it's fine. Offer a hug. Remember not to take the rejection of your love personally. A negative person always often has difficulty receiving love from others. That's true. A negative person often has difficulty receiving, love from others. How many times we gone through that? It's just the same thing. Focus on the positive. If you try really hard, there is always something positive to be found in any and every situation. Pretend you are on a treasure hunt and search for any gold or jewels you can emphasize. Sometimes that's hard. You hear the saying, find a light in a silver cloud. It's crazy. And you have to keep doing what we can. So, you never know. Let's see. We're supposed to have someone calling in. And for some reason, it did not go through. And I do apologize, caller. I do apologize. I don't know what's going on here. As all with the weather and things, sometimes, the weather messes up with things and we're not hearing things. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. Okay, we may have it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Enliven Radio, part of Legacy Internet Radio. I'm your host, the one and only Mr. LP Stephen Sykes. Who do we have on the line?
Hi, this is Wil Strayhorn.
Hello, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing all right. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. As we were talking about being positive, the weather out there is giving things a little bit difficult. But I'm glad
no problem.
No
problem at all.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad that we got you on. And just as we was talking about before, we always have to be positive and know how to deal with different situations all the time. So tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Okay, my name is Wil Strayhorn. I live in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. I am a hairstylist, a makeup artist, a style coach, and co-owner of Let's Face It Makeup and Hair Studio, which is in Virginia Beach. I've been in the business for almost 20 years now. I love what I do. I love making people pretty and feel good about themselves.
Oh, my. You say 20 years, so you don't sound a day over 21, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you working hard out there, and I know down there in the Virginia Beach area you have to deal with a lot of humidity out there to keep your keep the hair going.
Definitely. And the weather this year has just been off the chain.
Now, let me ask you, you brought up a good a point there, sir. How does a businessman like yourself stay positive when you face with different challenges like the weather out there today?
It's out of my control. Things out of my control I can't stress over. I had to learn that the hard way in most situations, but my faith in God has really guided me through a lot. It's helped me sustain and pretty much provided me with the pieces I need to stay positive in all situations. So things that I can't change, I can't stress over. The weather is definitely one of them.
Now, you said you have your own location down in Virginia Beach.
Oh, yeah. Myself and my partner own Let's Face It Makeup and Hair Studio, which is located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's a multi-divisional organization, meaning we have Let's Face It Makeup Hair Studio, which is our brand, but under that we have 5 businesses within that business.
Wow.
So we're trying to build pretty much a beauty empire here. And we have quite a few things going on and still a few that are in the works and should be released by the end of this year.
Awesome. Now, let me ask you a couple of questions with that, sir. How long have that business been established in that location?
September the 11th of this year will be our second year.
Awesome. And then let's see.
Second year.
And you know what? A lot of businesses don't even make it through the first year. So I
Exactly. Exactly. We've had a really good presence in the community. Business is doing well. We have, like I said, we have a whole bunch of projects this year alone that are in the works. So God is truly blessing, and we're thankful for that.
Now, with the hairstyle, modeling, all the different things that comes up, and including makeup that's being up and coming, especially in the Tidewater area. How do you remain cutting edge or staying relevant with your business, because there's a lot of competition in your area right now?
You know what? That's a good question. That's a really good question. As far as competition, I've always said in the competitive world, it's best to choose not to compete. So I really don't look at the competition. I just try to perfect myself and my craft and put my energy into that. If you concentrate on the competition, you're going to always be stressed out. So to avoid any type of negativity, gossiping, backbiting, greed, I just concentrate on what I do, and I try to do that the best that I can.
So your advice is to focus on yourself, not the competition.
Yeah. Once you know exactly what your craft is, because a person like myself, I'm pretty much multifaceted. Like I said, I'm a hairstylist, a makeup artist, and a style coach. Of the three, my passion, I would have to say, definitely is makeup. That gets most of my energy. So all my energy is going to perfecting my craft. And in this area, there are probably 50 makeup artists. Who's to say who's the best? So what I do is that I put my energy into perfecting being the best person that I can be and being professional.
Now, in the Tidewater area, and we've heard different stories. It's very hard to get a business going, especially minority businesses, because of hang-ups, red tape, or just overall hatefulness that some people may have. How did you overcome, or if this situation was present when you started to get your business going, how did you overcome those steps?
I've always heard of the fright stories of especially minority business trying to be established in the Virginia Beach area. Me, myself, I grew up in Virginia Beach. I've always lived in Virginia Beach. When we decided to open up a salon, it was a no-brainer that it would be in Virginia Beach. And we really had no problems with it. And being in Virginia Beach, I haven't had any problems. So I can't share in the stories of people having bad experiences with Virginia Beach. Has been a blessing to me. This is my home. This is where my business is located, and I have no problem with the area, actually.
As growing up as a minority individual in the area, and you've seen the ups and the downs and the positive growth that the area is going through now, how much pride do you have right now versus when you saw it? Not saying you didn't have pride then, but coming from where you saw it as a young black male to where we are now.
Growth, definitely growth. I went to I went to Kellam High School, which is considered back then in the boonies. It was really a lot of trees and everything. But back there now, they're actually taking down my old high school, and they built a multi-million-dollar high school, multi-million-dollar homes and shopping centers. So the growth throughout the years is awesome. And I think that actually fuels my business and the other businesses that are coming to the Virginia Beach area, the growth that's happening.
Now, when you've say makeup and styling, what's your favorite makeup that you like to use?
I don't have a particular brand that I endorse. My salon actually is in current production of our own brand, LFI Cosmetics, which hopefully and prayerfully will be out by December of this year. I use a variety of it. I prefer probably Bobbi Brown for the majority of my makeup. Of course, MAC for their color products. But my makeup kit is a variety of makeup.
Now, I'm going to ask you, since you're dealing with makeup, I'm going to ask you some questions that I'm getting hit with. What is the best issue when you deal with all these different type of makeups, and especially with people of color, different skin colors, especially minorities? What are some of the issues that we have is the moisture, where the makeup may dry out or not when we're putting on the foundation before we add in the extra stuff. It's messing up the skin, cracking, and hurting the pores. What is your recommendation to help prevent some of these things?
Well, definitely in dealing with our skin, minority skin, you definitely want to find a good foundation that's going to, number one, match your shade. And number two, it's going to provide the moisture that you need. A lot of makeup is not all makeup is not created equal. Fashion Fair, Bobbi Brown, a lot of those brands have that moisture, especially Iman, have the extra moisture that's needed in our skin. So investing most of your money into a good foundation is key. All your color products, your lipstick, your eyeshadows, you can pretty much save money on those items, but you really want to invest in your core product, which is going to be your foundation, because that's really going to be the base of your look.
Okay. So that was going to lead to my next question. What should be in every woman or male's makeup counter bag?
For men, I have three. For women, I always tell them you need concealer, lip gloss, and mascara. Those are my three items that every woman needs. A night out at a time when you have the bags under your eyes, concealer would give you an instant wake up. Lip gloss and mascara, you're ready to go to work.
Okay. And for the men?
For men, depends on what kind of skin you have. Definitely anti-aging products. I myself use anti-aging products. You need moisturizer. I don't have any type of facial hair, but definitely if you doing a type of razoring to your facial hair, you need something that's going to prevent any type of bumps, so that you don't have any type of permanent scarring.
Well, I'm going to give you a question. I'm a very dark-skinned black male, and I'm being nicely with that. But I love my skin. But I have a lot of part of it may be my weight issue, but I have a lot of bags underneath my eyes, even when I do sleep. Now, obviously, there's the pros and cons of, obviously, I'm not on the TV a whole lot, so I don't have the makeup as with the light shining on me and things like that. But on a daily basis, what is something that you can recommend for that?
Well, you know what? Me and you share the same issue. I have bags and I have dark circles. For dark circles, a type of a concealer, which is called a corrector, would be good. And you would need a peach color concealer, because that's going to neutralize any type of darkness. And professional makeup artists can instruct you on how to apply the concealer and where to apply the concealer to minimize the look of your bags. But if your bags are creating type of a dark shadow or under eye darkness, you use a concealer that's in the color of peach, which is going to go in there and neutralize all that darkness.
Is that something that we could, as a black man, is okay to use every day without?
Oh yeah, okay. As a matter of fact, they have concealers for men, which is pretty much just a concealer. But because guys have such an issue with saying they wear makeup, they advertise it as being for men. But it's basically just a peach concealer.
Why do you feel guys have an issue? Now, granted, it's probably a passe, easy answer, but in your view, why do guys have a problem with makeup if we're not in the... I've even seen some celebrity men have a problem with it. Why do guys have so much of a problem with makeup?
I think that's just a male ego thing. People who are pretty much in the industry, like male models, they understand the importance of it. They understand the importance of always looking your best. So I think all the hang-ups with men wearing negative, that's pretty much from the older generation, partially, and then also it's a masculinity thing. They're thinking demasculizes it.
Now, when you're dealing with a positivity aspect going towards working with celebrities, and you've worked with a lot of celebrities from my understanding, how do you deal with negative celebrities who do not who just being outwardly rude, or that's just part of their personality, who's just not willing to accept what you're trying to bring to the table, even though you have to work with them? How do you deal with that negativity? I'll make you think. Sorry.
No, that's a good question. And then again, I have to be blessed that I've never had to deal with it. I've heard horror stories of people having to deal with people with diva attitudes. But you pretty much create your own working space. I don't bring that type of attitude with me, and energy transfers. So if I don't bring negativity with me, people who are used or who are drawn to negative, they're not going to be attracted. So I bring positive energy to my workspace, and that pretty much transfers to whoever I'm working with. So I really don't have any experience as to working with anyone, even my bridal clientele, who has I've had a negative experience with in all of my years. Now that you got me thinking back, in all of my years, I've never had that experience.
Well, That's awesome, and I greatly appreciate, and I'm very thankful for God that you have that going for you, and I pray it continues. How do you? How does your family feel now that you're working with styling, you're doing hair, you're doing makeup, all these different things? What's been your family reaction towards all of this?
My family's very supportive. Very supportive. Initially, I was in college, of course, to do something else. I was going to be an English teacher. I got in school, realized I absolutely hated math, and there was no way I was going to be able to do math for 3 more years. And basically what I did was I went to Baltimore and hung out with some friends who were all hairstylists and makeup artists. And I came back to Virginia, told my mom what I experienced, that I really loved what they were doing. And she trusted me to go to school. If that's what I wanted to do, she supported it. And I graduated, like I said, almost 20 years ago, and I've loved the industry ever since. So they're very supportive of it.
If you was to go, let's say someone's trying to get into the field now, let's say they're a novice or maybe have no experience or whatever the case may be, and obviously you come up through a different path towards this, would you recommend someone still go to college and then get into the field, go to the field as they're working the field as they're going through college, or would you prefer them to go to a school specifically for hair and makeup and styling?
Now, that would depend on your career path. Now, I myself, like I said, I do a myriad of things, and I'm currently back in college to finish my degree because there's still some things that I want to do that are going to require a degree. So I would have first sit down with a person and find out exactly what their career path is that they want to follow. If it's something that's going to go into corporate or working for a company, I also work for L'Oreal. If you want to go for a company like that, you probably will need a degree. But if your career is pretty much centered around being into a salon or a more creative environment, getting your cosmetology license would be what I would advise them to do. And that basically, depending on how much time you're going to put in, could be anywhere from a year to maybe a year and a half. Once you do that, you just basically need to keep yourself abreast with your continuing education classes because things are continually changing. Each season things change. So you should stay abreast of it. That's how you keep and maintain clients, by being abreast of the new trends and always able to offer them something new.
What are some of the things in the industry right now that you are seeing as a stylist? And when I'm saying stylist, I'm including, I know you don't necessarily do the hair part as much, but I'm including the whole circle because that's what you actually work with. What are some of the things in the industry that you are not seeing that you wish we need to come up and better? Not specifically towards African Americans, but just as an industry as a whole.
You mean like trends?
Yes. What are some of the trends now that you are seeing that are not very good that we need to change or improve on?
Well, first of all, hair actually is my bread and butter. I do hair probably about 75% of the time. 25% is the makeup. Makeup I love the most, but 75% I still do hair the most. The trends basically change seasonally right now based upon the 2014 Fashion Week. We saw on the red carpet a lot of things like the bright lipsticks, the reds, purples, oranges, and those things are going to carry over into the spring. I saw a lot of like the cat eyes going on and very bold brows. It's like the year of the brows. Before they were like thin and arched. Now they're very bold. They're thick. Really small, skinny eyebrows are out for this season. Hair, I'm noticing a lot of bobs coming back in. If you notice Queen Latifah on her show, she revealed the new bobs. A lot of the new bobs are not blunt, though. I think at the Golden Globes, I believe it was Reese Witherspoon and Naomi Watts, they had blunt bobs. So this season, I really think Caucasian and minority, you're going to notice a lot of blunt cut bobs coming back.
Okay, we saw a lot of the bobs in the early 2000s, and they kept on for a couple of years. Now,
everything will come back again.
Now, you are a celebrity stylist. Who have you worked with? Have you worked with, Joe Blow down the street, a couple other celebrities in the state, or big time? Where have you worked with? Who you worked with?
Well, there are different levels of celebrities. I've dealt with local celebrities. I've also had, I worked with Tim Reed's celebrity tennis tournament, golf tournament, down at the Norfolk State University. And I have Worked with Denise Ray. She was from Ray. I worked with a couple people from America's Next Top Model. But the local celebrities, Nikki Curry, who I know that you're very familiar with.
I never heard of her.
She's the one who basically just totally turned my whole career around and introducing me to new people who are very prominent in my community, who I consider celebrities. Dawn Eskins, and she has a whole calendar for the entire 2014 already lined up for people that she has me working with.
Well, who's some big any A-list celebrities that we can name of? That would, if I call them right now, could I call Oprah? Do I call Sam Stone? Who else would I call?
Now, Oprah, I've gotten very close to Oprah. I haven't gotten to Oprah. I've worked with her makeup artist, Reggie Wells. I've taken a class with him, and I've had the pleasure of actually teaching a class with him. We were supposed to bring him to our salon. We were going to sponsor a class this past 2 weeks ago. However, some things got mixed up, so we're going to postpone that to later into the year. But my path is definitely set up to get into that market of working with the A-list celebrities. I have my eye on my goal person, Jennifer Hudson. I love her. I want to be her makeup artist. So I'm just putting that out in the atmosphere. She is definitely someone who I have my eyes set on that I want to work with.
Now, let's say I'm a celebrity and I'm starting to get big, and
you are.
No, thank you. And I'm going to, someone calls me to go to New York or LA to do a hosting event or something. And you know, I need to be fixed up. So I call you. How much do I charge? How much do I pay? Do I need to pay for you to come out, or do I fly to you and then leave? How does that work? Because when you go to these different places, the TV studio got their own makeup people they want you to do and things like that. How does that work?
You will be responsible. We will invoice you for the service rendered, travel, and lodging.
Okay.
That's what you will receive an invoice for.
Okay. So okay. And now, how do you deal with the conflict when you deal? Let's say I'm on Jay Leno. Sadly, he's leaving, and he got his own makeup people. They want me to look a certain way. I'm with you. How do we deal with that dichotomy there?
You know what the answer? You know what my answer for that is?
Yes. What's your answer?
I don't deal with that. You deal with Nikki Curry. And then Nikki calls me, tells me where to be, where my ticket is, and I'm there. And she's already worked all that out with. She's the first. She's the people handler for me, so I don't have to deal with all that.
All right. Now, what are some of the things that you see coming down the line for your business? That you mentioned that you got a lot of things growing. I know you're in the Virginia Beach area. Is your business expanding? I know you said you have 5 things. Are you coming to Richmond? Are you coming to D.C.?
Oh, I've been to Richmond. Yeah, I've been to Richmond. Like I said, Let's Face It Makeup Hair Studio is 5 businesses within the business. We have LFI Makeup Services, which is basically our special event. We do bride weddings. We do fashion shows, photo shoots. We have LFI Image Makers, which is my style coaching business. We do a lot of presentations for men and women's organizations. LFI Makeup Academy, and that's basically our traveling makeup school. Last year we did 6 makeup classes in our salon, and we basically market them to the everyday woman who basically wants to learn how to do her own makeup. So we'll have a class maybe of 8 to 10 women, and by the time they leave, they know what they're doing. And we also offer pro classes for people hairstylists who maybe want to add makeup to their menu but don't know how to do it. They'll come in, and I'll work with them one-on-one on being able to offer that service to their clients. And we also have LFI Remy, which is our hair extension line, and like I said, LFI Cosmetics, which is currently being produced. So we have a lot of things going on. One thing I would like to mention is I have an internship program which just started in December. It is going to conclude in May. And I have 6 aspiring makeup artists, which I selected out of over 70 applications. And I'm basically volunteering my services to train them to become makeup artists. And that's just my way to give back to the industry. Because coming up, I had to go 3.5 hours just to get a makeup class because there really weren't classes in this area. And I said, if I ever got to a place where I could give back or help someone else, I would. So this is my second class I've had, and I think I'll probably have a couple more because it's kind of rewarding seeing them grow and seeing their faces light up when they learn something. So I'm building a team of them, and when my makeup line comes out, we're going to promote classes, promote the line, and do a lot of things together.
How long is the internship?
It's 4 months.
Okay. So you're about to come. Are you going to start another? You said you're going to do a couple more. You're going to start in April or May or?
No. The way I programmed it is December we had like an orientation right before the holidays, and we really got into it beginning in January. We do 2 trainings a month, roughly about 3.5 hours a piece. And we're going to continue, like I said, the last training will be in April, and then they'll have their graduation in May.
Okay. Now, when are you going to come out with your book, sir?
I'm currently writing a book. It's Look the Part. That's pretty much my signature series for my style coaching, basically talking on the importance of image and how good it is to make an awesome first impression. So it's going to be full of tips on color analysis, how to dress for your body shape, how to get the best bargains when you go shopping. It's full of all the information I've gathered throughout my entire 20 years. So it's taking some time to write, but hopefully I can get it done within the mix of all the stuff that I'm already working on.
Do you have a video series on YouTube that people can watch and find out?
Oh, you're hitting the questions. The 5-minute face is currently in production. I'm working with a lady named Parshell here in this area, and we're about to kick that series off. And I'm going to do a video called the 15-minute face, where I will teach women basically how you can do your face in 15 minutes or less. Because that's one of the biggest reasons women say for not wearing makeup, they say they don't have the time. So I'm going to show you how you can have the time and you can look fabulous.
Okay, I got a question for you, sir. One more. How can you deal with the makeup and especially in all the wonderful things that you do? But you and I both know that sometimes the makeup is just a cover for that inner hatred, whatever is going on with that woman's body. How do you encourage a woman to be that and let them know that they're beautiful without your makeup?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
We all know that women have issues with beauty, or everyone thinks that they got something wrong, even though there's nothing wrong with them.
Oh yeah.
Now, and we all know that sometimes the makeup is a coverage for whatever's going on with them mentally and emotionally. How do you encourage women today, or men, that they're still beautiful without your makeup?
Well, actually, that's the thing. That's one of the things that style coaching does. Style coaching pretty much is like image consulting, but instead of what image consultants do, they help you look good. A style coach helps you look good as well as feel good. So I always instill in my clients confidence, because confidence is going to make you look better than any amount of makeup will ever make you look. So I just try to, whatever they're going to put on, whether it's just lipstick, eyeshadow, having that confidence, because I've seen a lot of people fully made up. They don't have the confidence, and you can tell that.
All right. Now, how can I, let's say I want to get my clothing style together. You said you have a style team. Do I need $1,000, $500? What do I need to do to come down and say, you know what, here's Mr. Will, here's $1,000, buy me clothes, or how does it work?
We could do that. I do personal shopping. I do personal fashion styling. I would rather teach you how to do it. It's like the old saying, you can give a man the fish and he'll eat for a day, or you can teach a man the fish and you can fish for a lifetime. So I would rather teach you to be able to identify your best colors by giving you a color analysis, giving you a body shape analysis so that you'll know what type clothes look best on your body frame, and helping you identify your key and your signature style. That way, whenever you walk into a store, you won't have to spend countless hours trying on clothes, seeing what color looks right. You'll be able to go directly to the colors that you know for a fact are proven to make you look your best.
Okay. Now, with all of this style and everything expert, how you are with the women?
As far as
is the women knocking down the doors after you and things like that, or
they've been doing that since I was born, but I'm too busy. I'm too busy.
I understand. You too busy.
No distraction.
Okay.
No
the women are distraction unless they doing the makeup and style. They're a distraction. Okay. Not a
Or
problem.
paying me, yeah.
Or paying you. That I understand.
Yeah.
That works out too. Have you ever had a woman that told you that they don't like your stuff and they still think that you're still ugly and things like that?
Yeah, when I first started. Yeah. When I was trying to do any and everything, I'm to an age now where I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Gotcha.
But when I was taking anything that walked in the door, somebody came in, it was a story, wanted purple finger waves, and she wanted it with tracks. And number one, I didn't know how to do finger waves, and I took the job. And then I hated the idea of purple finger waves. So it was a horror story. She did say a few things, but, I knew before I started that it wasn't going to look right. So it didn't bother me that much.
And you are in your mid-40s, sir? Is it safe to say?
I am not in my mid-40s. I don't know who gave you the information. I am 42, though. That's not mid, right? 45 is mid.
Okay, well, I'm 44 to 47 would be mid.
Okay, well, now I'm 42. I'm in a different checkbox.
Okay, you're a different checkbox. Okay. So you're still in the market.
Yeah.
You're still in the part where market research still counts you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, now I'm going to ask you this question. You're 42.
Uh-huh.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self now if you looking at yourself in the dead twin in the mirror? It's just that other person's 18, and you had a good hour, 2 hours. What are some of the things you would highlight and talk to this young man about?
I would spend that entire time telling that young man that you are responsible for your actions, and to think now for later.
Okay.
Because way back then, if I had really, really, really had somebody tell me that, I wouldn't have made half of the mistakes I've made, and I would be a lot further than where I am.
What mistakes have you made, sir?
Well, some I can't share. Some I will share is procrastination, not believing in my abilities. That's really kept me back maybe a couple of years. Self-doubt. Those are two of the pretty main things that I would stress to a young person. You need to believe in yourself.
Did you have to fight through depression?
No, I've been blessed never to have to fight through depression. No.
Okay. Well, sir, I thank you so very much for your time. You done educated us and helped us out in so many different ways. And
thank you.
So I'm going to come down there soon and get my makeup on. And
you're going to get a style now, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get the whole style bit. I just got to get a little bit more change because I do believe in paying people for their time, and things.
Oh, yeah, me too. I believe in that, too.
So,
I believe in that as well.
I want the Nikki Curry discount, but I want to pay.
Okay. We can work that out. You mentioned the key word, so we can work that out.
Okay, that's not a problem. All I ask is I need a photo signed so I can give a copy for myself in frame and give the other one to my grandmother. And
okay,
and
I can do that.
And I look forward to your book. And say the name of your makeup line again, sir.
It's going to be LFI Cosmetics. The name of my salon is Let's Face It Makeup and Hair Studio. You can also see me at www.wil, that's WIL, Strayhorn.com.
All right, and then they can find you on Facebook as well, sir, and Instagram,
yes,
and Twitter?
Wil Strayhorn as well, yes.
Okay. I thank you very much for your time, sir. You're always a friend of the program. And we're going to hit you up soon when some things come up, sir, and educate us. And even if you don't have anything, we don't have anything interesting, we still want you to come on, sir, because we appreciate your time and energy.
Thank you. Thank you.
No
Good
problem.
night.
Good night, sir. Everybody, again, one of the good things about the show is I'm humble enough to sit here and say I've been schooled, educated, and everything else, and I appreciate it so very much. First and foremost, get shout out to the brand definer, Miss Nikki Curry. You can find the brand definer on Facebook, and I will post her links to her page online as well on our Enliven radio page. And as educated and talented and everything else that she is, more importantly, she is a wonderful and strong individual and a wonderful human being. I thank you so very much for getting that interview for me, because that's helped out a lot. And again, it all goes to the platform of being positive. You have to stay positive. And I thank everybody very much for being patient with us. I know we ran a little bit over, maybe a lot over for some, but it's important. And as always, that's what we're here about, the global community and educating ourselves. Thank you very much for your time. Please be safe out there, as the weather is getting worse and worse, and we need to make sure that you stay safe. So be good to each other out there on that. We'll be here next Tuesday. Please check out the rest of our shows. On Mondays we have Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J from 7 to 9. Same channels or legacyinternetradio.com. We're on TuneIn Radio app. We have the MixLR. We're on Loud City. On Tuesdays, of course, you're here in the Bat Cave with me, Mr. Sincere, and also Miss Brandy Richardson. On Wednesdays, we have the Green Room 2.0 with comedianess Lissa P and Jay Grizzy. Always hilarious, always funny. Those people are going to keep you entertained for life. On Thursdays, we have the Iron Horse Radio. Always great information on the biker experience. On Fridays, we had Did They Just Play That? Music only show with a whole bunch of things. That starts at 7. A little bit before that, we're going to have the Bob Marley Music Mitch. On Saturdays, we have a midday. We had Did They Just Play That? And some other good stuff. And some Bob Marley family mix with that. And also Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez. That girl's hot, yo. And it's not just house music. You think the same steady beat. It's mixed with gospel. We got R&B. We got jazz. We got ska. We got jazz. We got merengue. We got Bollywood. We have it, all types of music going in there. So please check her show out on Saturdays from 7 to 9. Record it. Listen to it. Whatever you got going on, she got it on and popping on that show. Remember, work harder, make it better, do it faster, which makes us stronger. And one phrase I want to leave you with today. I always wonder why birds choose to stay in the same place when they call fly anywhere on earth. Then I ask myself the same question. Something just to remember by. I always wonder why birds choose to stay in the same place when they can fly anywhere on earth. Then I ask myself the same question. Be good to each other, everybody. Love you. Peace out, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.